Now I need to create a work order to go out and exercise these valves. So I'm going to click on work order. I'm going to go down and select valve exercise work order. And I'm going to create a new work order. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go down and go. So I created a work order called Valve Work Order for IMS Demo. I'm going to make this a reoccurring work order. Yes. The period will be annually, and there'll be no end date. If there were an end date, I would put yes, and again, I can click on the calendar and select whatever that end date might be. So again, I need to save this in order to get my buttons to light up. I'll click Save. Okay. And now I'm going to go down and find that group that we just created, and that was IMS Group for Demo. I'm going to add the group. Yes, and you'll see all of the valves and hydrants popped up. Now, again, if I want to add a valve or a hydrant to it because the guys are out in the field and they're close to that valve that's over on the corner cliff, I can go in here and find that valve, add it to the list, and again, I could do the same with hydrants. Now, this does not, by adding this valve, doesn't change your group. Your group will always be the original 3 valves and a hydrant. However, on your work order, that will become a permanent part of that work order. We made this a reoccurring work order, so the next time this work order comes up as due, that hydrant or valve that you added to that group will be included. If you want to delete it at that time, you would have to do that. So we've created this reoccurring work order. We're going to save it. And now we're going to go up to print, and we're going to print a summary field report. Let me click on this. All right, a summary field report is what we refer to as a walking order summary. And when you were setting up your valves, if you were doing it using a map, you would probably set them up in an order that you want them to go out and do the valve exercising. So we have our valves set up in this order. We're going to do this one first, then we're going to do this 001 next, and this one after that. While the guys are going through the field, they can use this as a reference to keep them going the right direction when they're done. They can check it off to make sure they don't get lost. Maybe there's a car parked over this one so they can't do it, so they're going to come back later. They leave it unchecked, go and do this one and check it off. So it's a quick reference for them to do the valves in the order you want them to do and to be sure that they were done. Next thing we're going to do is go back and print a full field report. All right, on the valve exercise work order report, this would be if you're not using Hurco's ValveStar system. You're using another system. You're going to go out in the field. You're going to exercise the valve, and you're going to take notes on that particular test. So you're going to go in and you counted this many revolutions, maybe 18 revolutions. You remember torque at 140. Whatever those values are, you would enter those in here and bring this report back to the office so that they could be entered into IMS. Again, if you're using Hurco's ValveStar system, you would simply bring in the computer from the ValveStar system. This data would sync automatically, and there would be no reason to fill out this report. So now that we've created a work order, we're going to go out in the field. We're going to exercise our valves. At the end of the day, we're going to bring that information back to the office. If we were using a ValveStar, we're going to do a sync. All of the results will import automatically. If we went out and we gathered that information manually, we're going to have to go in and edit those results. So first thing we're going to do is click on Edit Results. I do this regardless of whether I've imported the data using our system or I've imported the data. The reason is once I've synced and imported the data, by going here I can click through the different valves in the work order and be sure that the information is in all these fields. Now if we had been on the field and did a work order, there would be data here that would fill in automatically. We are going to enter this information manually based on the reports that were brought in. So the first thing we do is we're going to put in the operator name. The date completed is already there. We know that there was 18 revolutions. Cycle count, we opened and closed the valve 2 full times. Our max torque was 98. Revolutions at max torque happened at revolution 12. Max revolutions in set direction was 18. The guys in the field noted a deficiency. The valve box is a little out of alignment. And then they could enter in any field notes that they wanted. And then we would save for that particular valve. Now, if you're using the Hurco ValveStar system, you could actually import a torque log that would give you detailed torque information through the entire cycle of the valve. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the data for all of these. Okay, so now we've entered in all of our results for the day, and we click Save on all of them, and it says the changes have been made. So now we're done. We've entered in all of our exercise results for that day. The next thing we need to do is submit those results. If I click on Submit Results, it'll give me a warning letting me know that once I submit these results, they're no longer available to edit. We need to submit the results to do our calculations and to create our reports. So I'm going to go ahead and click Yes. And if we go down here and click on the little bar down in our taskbar, we'll see the different reports for the different valves. The system will create a valve exercise results master report. This report will contain pertinent information on address, GPS location, and all that. Down in here, you'll actually see the information that's important. We have set revs was set at 18, set torque at 150, set speed was at 35. If we scroll down this list, we'll see the actual values brought in from the field. We cycled this valve twice. The maximum torque we had was 98 foot-pounds. That happened at a revolution 12. The maximum revolutions in set direction was 18. If the guys had typed in any notes, those field notes would appear here. And in addition to that, you'll get a graph showing the results of your test. So let's go ahead and get out of here and just review. Again, we created a valve. We went in and added that valve to a group of valves. We created a work order for that valve or that group of valves. We added a hydrant and a valve to that group of valves. Then we went out in the field. We did the exercise. We brought the exercise results back in. We either synced them using Hurco's ValveStar system, or we manually edited that information into the work order. We submitted those results and created our reports.